So continuing on part 3 of the removal of the range cylinder on an Eaton Road Ranger 13-speed transmission. So I did get the cap off, and that's what it looks like. It's still actually a bit cleaner. I did clean it up a little bit, and I noticed inside there's a whole lot of crap in the filter on the over there, and so maybe that's the culprit. That might be what's causing the problem here. It could still possibly be the slave valve, but I don't think it is, because every time I move the shifter, it does do something. I can hear the sounds. So there is air going to the piston, but that's what it looks like on the field. Can't be any more on the field than this here. So and that's what it looks like in the transmission there. So right now the cylinder, or the piston, is all the way to the end of the cylinder. The piston is inside the cylinder, or the bore, and I just put air into that fitting there to make sure it's out. So that, I believe, is high range. And these things are really simple. You can either have air going through the front of it, so through that side, through the front, or through the back, from one side or to the other. So if you have it going to this side, it'll push it that way. If you have it going to this side, it'll push it that way. So right now we have it pushing the piston outwards. So in order to push the piston back inwards, I need to put this back in and connect air into it here. So that'll, see, there's that hole there. So that will then, imagine this is inside there, air is going this way, it's pushing it back in. So that's how I'm going to test this piston here. Now, I've got two questions that I don't know yet how to answer. And number one is, why do you need an air regulator? Why does the pressure have to be lower? I kind of think that the reason for that is there will be too much force, maybe too fast pushing the pistons in. So that's why the system needs to have operated at lower PSI, but I'm not 100% sure. And my second question is, well, not really a question. I'm wondering if I could just have the regulator mounted somewhere else. And as you can see, the regulator, it doesn't have a hole or anything on the cylinder cap here, piston cap. It's just mounted onto it. So I could remove this and put it somewhere else. It wouldn't matter. It's not actually doing anything together. Like, it doesn't have to be together. There's no pipes going to each other. And so with that in mind, I wonder if I could have, just like in the white truck, if I could have three-way valve to operate this pneumatically, but inside directly. So no slave valve, none of that. Just straight to the valve, big air lines, on and off. Engage piston. Piston goes in and out that way, directly to the air pressure. Or maybe have a regulator. I don't know, but something like that. I really don't like those tiny, flimsy little pipes. I really hate them. So just in case you didn't watch, you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll just show you real quick here. So here's my other truck that I'm talking about, International. And I know it looks kind of funky, but here's that massive cast iron three-way valve. This blue pipe is just the exhaust. So one is the air entrance. Air goes one way, or air goes, this is maybe a two-way valve. Anyways, air comes through one and it goes into the other, and when I if I move it, then it closes off the air pressure and it allows the air in this pipe to go out through the exhaust. And that's straight to the cylinder, no regulator, no nothing. So that's the pipe for it here. And here's the exhaust pipe. And the other pipe goes right back there into the axle, because it's a 2-speed axle. So originally it had an electric shifter, and I took that out and put an air brake unit, a Type 20. Smaller would have been better, but I used a Type 20. I made a bracket and linkage for it with a roller, and so now I use that to engage or disengage the second gear on the axle. So I'm wondering if I can do something like this here. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I'm just wondering, just an idea here. But for now, I was not able to remove the nut on the piston. It's just very, very extremely tight. I don't want to force anything. I don't want to break anything. So I'm not sure that's how I'm supposed to do it. I also could not remove the cylinder itself, that block around the piston. But it was wiggling out of there. So my next test is I'm going to put this here. I'm going to remove the regulator out of the way. As you see, I can't even access that bolt there with the regulator in the way. So I think it's just these two bolts. And I'll confirm that in the next video. So I'll get that out of the way because we don't need it. And I will put this back on, bolt it down tight, and move the air hose to it and see if it'll push the piston in. And I make sure that the transmission is in neutral. Oh yes, and by the way, this thing, it's got some sort of valve. Actually, the slave valve is connected to the neutral on the transmission, so that you can't operate this unless it's in neutral, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm saying that right. So if I did bypass this and went with my system, my direct system, the driver would be able to engage the range cylinder at any time. So that might be bad, because you really need to know what you're doing. Whereas this here is a bit more foolproof. But anyways, I would like to have that system just in case, just as a backup, at least as a backup. So if ever this gets stuck, I can just have the hoses already going to it, and just have air straight to it so that I can get moving. I would like to have that option. Kind of crazy, but I think it would be kind of cool. But we definitely need to have a more heavy-duty system in place here. Alright, see you in the next video.